Mayor Ives is out of town, so I'm taking his place. I think he's sizing up the UN in Geneva. I don't know if he's.
Maybe he's looking for a raise in pay.
First item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. So if we can have a motion.
Move.
Second.
All fair. Okay. And before we get started, I would also like to recognize Hugh McKinnon, who went over and represented Canada in the World Senior Games and came back with a gold medal. So, first delegation is Janice Cashin. Janice, if you'd like to come to the podium.
Thank you very much. I'm the chair of the Adult Learning Center in Courtenay, and I have with me Martin Tedder, who is the chair of the Comox Valley Lifelong Learning Association. And together, our two societies with the Echo newspaper are really pleased to announce that we're bringing the very first Razor Reader campaign to the Comox Valley. In 1997, the Vancouver Sun through Post Media started Razor Reader, and it now goes all the way across Canada. And September the 25th is the day. We're a very small community, and most of the communities that have Razor Reader are much larger. But we were hoping that if we worked really hard and really convinced all of the dignitaries in our valley how important literacy is, not only to the Comox Valley, but to British Columbia and Canada at this time, that you would join us on that day. So I'm very pleased to announce to you that I'm not here looking for money, and I'm not here looking for you to make a decision as a council. I am here to invite each one of you personally to come out on September the 25th at 8:30 in the morning as Rotary kicks off Razor Reader Day with a big breakfast, and then you will be asked with a partner. You will be placed somewhere in the Comox Valley with newspapers, a special edition put out by the Echo for that day. You will be partnered with someone, and you will be asking people as you stroll the streets and stroll the malls. They will be contributing to literacy, and in return, you will give them a special edition of the Echo. And in the Echo will be stories from different nonprofits in the valley who deal with literacy, and also all of the sponsors and the donators will have ads in that newspaper supporting literacy. So that's actually all I'm asking from you today, is to do that. We have been working very hard at the rest of our campaign committee has been out getting sponsorships and donations from other people. We're now, I think, Martin, up somewhere around $15,000, and we still have 6 weeks to go. Whatever money that we raise at that time stays here in the valley. Every cent of it goes to a project. It's not allowed to be used for advertising or paying people salaries. It goes right to the programs that we will be giving money to. So I guess in a way we're using you. It's really important because we have the Echo, and also the Eagle has joined us as a partner. During the month of September, you're going to hear a lot of publicity. And if you decide to join us as individuals, you will be recognized for doing that. And really, it's just the breakfast. You gather your newspapers and your partner. I send you to a specific place, a specific mall, or a specific corner, and for approximately 2 hours, you're asking people for donations. By noon, you're back at the Echo, handing in any of the money that you have collected on that day. But really, it's the advertising. It's having the leaders of our community out there so that the public can see that you're supporting literacy. That's the important thing. We know that on that day, it's a Wednesday morning, and you and I both know that there's not going to be a great deal of people out on a Wednesday morning in September. But that's not the point. If they have heard that this is going on, maybe it will bring people out, but it will also draw the attention to literacy. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but at least 40% of BC adults struggle with the necessary skills to be able to read a newspaper, or to fill out a work application, to read a map, or even understand leases that they sign. And you may be saying, well, our school system is better than that, but I think you all know that it's not the school system that's failing so that people can't do these things, but we have a huge number of new people coming to our country who don't speak our language and who struggle with all kinds of issues that the Comox Valley is now having to deal with. So I think that Martin will agree with me that we are meeting people in all from birth till senior. Everyone has special problems with literacy, even our seniors who are struggling with understanding how their computer works, because so often now you're asked to do something with your computer. My 91-year-old father just bought one 2 years ago, much only for the family, because every time we came to visit, we were always looking for a wireless. He still can't use it. For him, it's just too far above and too far outside of all of the experiences that he's had in his lifetime. And I know that there are many other seniors in the same way. So computer literacy has now joined up with reading literacy, writing literacy, math literacy, and of course another form of literacy that is a very difficult area for young people now is financial literacy. And the Adult Learning Center, I know with money that's going to be raised from Raise a Reader, we have a new program this fall that's going to start in financial literacy for single mothers or fathers who are struggling and trying to balance their checkbook or to even understand their credit card and what all the interest levels mean. So literacy is a very broad subject. Sometimes when I say literacy, people just think we're talking about reading. Well, let's just get people more books. It's much, much broader than that. We have quite a large number of nonprofit societies in the Comox Valley that are dealing with literacy in all its different forms. But as you well know, government funding for a lot of things, a lot of nonprofits has been cut back. And now we've had, the federal government has made cutbacks in the computer access program. Valley Links has now lost theirs. They've just donated all of their brand new computers to the Adult Learning Center. So we're hoping in the fall to be able to open a smaller version of the community access or the computer access program. The federal government is also cutting back in which immigrants they are going to fund in terms of ESL. So North Island College and the Adult Learning Center have a joint proposal in to try and get some of the new funding that's going to be coming out. But we know that there's going to be a huge number of immigrants in our valley who are no longer going to have funds available for English. So literacy is very broad. It's going into many, many different nonprofits. And so the Adult Learning Center, the ECHO, and the Comox Valley Lifelong Learning Society decided that it was time that we had to do something beyond government. So this is why the Raise a Reader program is being started, and we really wish you would come and help us out. The newspaper, this is, I hate to compare us to Port Alberni, but you know, if you ever see Corner Gas, you know how they look at the other community and go, our newspaper won't be this big, but Dave McDonald down at the Echo says it'll be about that size. Is that right, Martin? About
Yeah,
that
I think
size?
that's.
Okay. So you will have a newspaper that is filled with Raise a Reader articles, advertising from the sponsors and donators. This is the kind of thing that will be inside the newspaper. This is not a regular edition of the Echo that you will be handing out, but we'll make sure that everyone understands that they're not getting a regular issue. If you were in Vancouver, you get the daily, a very special but daily edition of the Vancouver Sun, or if you were in Victoria, you get the Times Colonist. But we don't have a daily newspaper here the same. So the Echo is going to be doing a special one. So that's what you would be holding. Somebody else will have, you'll have a bright red or orange shirt with a Raise a Reader right across the top, and a special jacket with pockets in it for putting money in. So we'll be kind of a team. And And that's it, really. Nice breakfast, walking, hopefully in the sunshine. I'm trying to put everybody somewhere where they can get out of the rain if it does rain. So don't worry about that part of it. Okay, so are there
We've got
questions?
some questions.
Yeah.
Or what?
I have one question. If we want to sign up, how do we do that? I put you in my phone already, that's why I wasn't not paying attention. I was putting
My
you in.
email's at the bottom of the invitation.
Okay.
I just got something, we've got 4 people from the Courtney Council
Okay.
already. They just emailed me, I put you on the list, and,
Well, it's not only seniors that have the computer literacy issue. I tell you that I want to go.
well, actually, the Adult Learning Center from 19 years and on has computer sessions going all the time.
It's
all
not
late.
I could figure it out.
But that's what we can do.
Perfect, yeah, so.
Thank you, Janice.
Does anyone have, Martin is also here to, if you want to ask any questions about specific programs that where money will be going to, he can answer some questions too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next up on delegations is Richard Wright. Welcome, Richard. Come on.
Beach, Iowa, Lake Quantico, Nama. It's good to see you. It's been a while since I've been in the chambers. It's been about 9 years. When we came here 9 years ago, we called upon the town of Comox to support Kentland Seafoods in their economic initiative in the shellfish aquaculture industry. Over the last 9 years, we've had some successes, there's no question about it. We are pursuing other economic opportunities in the shellfish aquaculture industry right now, in the geoduck aquaculture industry. And I've come to give a quick presentation to the town of Comox with regards to our activities. And we're hoping that hopefully at the end of our presentation, we'll be able to get a letter of support from the town of Comox as well. So as you can see up here on our map here, we have a number of different sites. There's 6 tenure applications that went into the province of British Columbia in the first week of April. One's out towards the Little River area, one's out by Pi Bay, one's out by Willamar Bluff. And if we could shrink the picture a little bit lower, we'd probably be able, there we go, we'd be able to find 2 applications that went in at Comas Bluff, Comox Bar, pardon me, and a small area down in Henry Bay for a nursery area for our geoduck seed. Some of the key messages to put forward to the town of Comox with regards to this particular initiative for the Comox First Nation. I look at not just it being a benefit to the Comox First Nation, but I look at it as a benefit to the Comox Valley as well, to the province of British Columbia, and to our country, Canada. The applications went in under the name of Salish Sea Farms LP. What we're looking at doing, presently we have a $30 million aquaculture industry here in the Bain Sound region. And with Salish Sea Farms, once we get up to our production, over the next 8 to 10 years, we'll be generating an extra $50 million annually to the aquaculture industry. So our hopes and dreams are to take a $30 million aquaculture industry here in the Comox Valley to an $80 million industry. What we'll also end up doing is we'll also put probably approximately 150 people to work. And I'm looking at not just Comox First Nation members, but again, I'm looking at the residents of the Comox Valley pursuing some of the opportunities for employment with us. Based upon DFO and their 2012 aquaculture report, for every $10 that's generated in the aquaculture industry, there's a $20 revenue generator as well, indirectly. So if we're looking at Salish Sea Farms generating revenues of $50 million annually, 8 to 10 years from now, we're looking at the Comox Valley generating about $100 million in revenue. Right now, I think that the largest, revenue generator here in the Comox Valley is good old D&D, CFD Comox. And I think right now, indirectly, they're generating revenues of $50 million. So we're getting up there. Again, with regards to our activities, with regards to St. Louis Sea Farms, they do fall under, or do kind of fit within the realm or priorities of the Comox Valley Economic Development Society's 5-year strategic plan. This initiative also falls under the Department of Fisheries and Oceans National Aquaculture Strategic Plan Initiative. They put forward a 5-year plan about 3 years ago, and geoduck was a species that was a priority for the department with regards to getting up and going. What we're looking at doing down the road here is we're looking at generating, again, we're probably, when we get up to full-scale operations, harvesting about 4 to 5 million pounds of geoduck annually. So it's a considerable amount of product that's being harvested and exported out to mostly China, Korea, and probably a little bit of Japan, and maybe a little bit to the US markets as well. I think that's pretty much about it with regards to some of the key messages with regards to the initiative. Again, some background information on the Comox First Nation, what they've done with their shellfish aquaculture corporation, Pentland Seafoods. They have received some significant awards over the last couple of years with regards to resource management and environmental stewardship. We've also been recognized by the province of British Columbia with regards to the BC Business Achievement Foundation Award last fall as well. So those are just some of the keys that we bring to your attention. Perhaps one more important note would be that the Comox First Nation, I think when we got going in 2003, 2004, had put forward a strategic plan, what we wanted to do short-term, medium-term, and long-term. We completed a lot of the short-term objectives, which was developing capacity, get our beaches up and going. The second component was getting into the marketing and processing of our own product, and we've done that. Recently, as of January, you probably are aware that we purchased Aquatech Seafoods as well. So we are probably one of the biggest players in the Basedown area now with regards to our aquaculture program. I think that's pretty much about it.
Will you stay for questions? Councillor Grant?
One or two. Thanks, Richard. You guys are looking for a letter of support, and I don't know if you are aware or not, but normally when we get a delegation, we would discuss it at the next meeting, whether we would do that or not. But I guess a couple of obvious questions to me are, and ones that we're going to get asked anyway, is environmental impact, and I know it's some recreational impact too. Do you have any, I don't know what geoduck farming looks like, so maybe you could tell us a bit about that.
Well, to be fair and honest, I think a lot of the aquaculture activities that will be undertaken with regards to our initiative are very similar to what takes place with the wild commercial fishery. So again, a lot of the area is going to be, it's deep water, so you're 20, 30 feet below the surface of the water. So a lot of the activities is just basically it's planting animals and doing husbandry like you would in any other initiative in the aquaculture industry. With regards to recreational, I don't foresee our activities infringing upon the abilities of recreational people. I don't think there's too many recreational people that fishermen, but if there are.
No, I was thinking more in terms of if I was going to go kayaking along the bluff there, is that going to interfere with your geoduck?
If you're going kayaking, I don't foresee our activities that are 20 to 30 feet below the surface of the water infringing upon those activities.
Richard? Councillor Smith?
It looks really exciting, Richard. I know Manatee Holdings is already doing some geoduck aquaculture in the valley, and I noticed in some of the background materials that their name is mentioned. Could you speak to that?
One of our partners with regards to this particular initiative is Manatee Holdings. Mr. Gantz has probably put about $5 million of his own money into a hatchery facility over in Royston. His thoughts are if we could pursue this opportunity, this hatchery is going to be generating a lot of seed down the road. So, other than that, it's a business.
Thanks, Richard, and congratulations on the work that you've done up to date. It's been a huge success to the valley. Just wondering, geoducks, are you gonna teach us how to cook gooey ducks so that we can buy them? And B, do you think we can toss gooey ducks out at an event in Minneapolis?
She might be a little bit easier to catch.
You better wear the right gloves.
Yeah. With regards to cooking gooey duck, it's a pretty simple procedure, and yeah, perhaps we can, once we get all the final approvals from the province of British Columbia and the Department of Fisheries and Ocean Press, we can bring one in and show council how to prepare it properly. We'll probably have to go in camera though. Just in case there's a few intimidated people.
Okay,
So,
Councillor Grant?
breaking with procedure as we normally do, it doesn't sound like there's too much negative impact on what you're doing. And I'd be open to making a motion that we give you this letter of support tonight, if that's okay with the rest of council.
All right, is there any further discussion on the motion? All in favor? It carries. You get your letter. When Mayor Ives is back to sign it.
Well, that part.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Next, Pete Gillespie, speaking on the development permit application that's on the agenda for later on. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you. Hello, Council. I'm speaking as a delegation or a delegate on behalf of Peter Bell, and it's regarding the residents over at 1789 Beaufort. As you know, there are 2 trees in question, and we have supplied the town with an application for a landscape permit in what instead of the trees could be there. And so at this time, we're seeking permission, I believe, to take down the 2 trees in question. And I'm the carpenter hired to contract and run the job for Mr. Galvin, as well as his sister Lindley. And basically what's happened is these trees have run amok. And in the one case, the hydro has continuously trimmed the one side of the one tree. It's quite diseased. It's also got its feet into the perimeter drain and under the foundation. And the other tree, which is on the west side of the home, is right up against the foundation. And if it hasn't already, it will be cracking the same. So in order for us to improve this residence properly and effect a good fix, I would like to remove the 2 trees in question. And essentially, that's it.
Is there any questions of Mr. Grant? It's on the agenda later on, so we'll deal with it then. Thank you. Okay, we have the minutes of the regular council meeting of July 17th for approval.
Approval, I guess.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? That carries. We've got no committee reports. We've got management report of August 21st.
Proceed.
Any discussion? All in favor? That carries. We've got no special reports. We've got no bylaws. The new business is the development permit application DP 13-4, which is Mr. Gillespie was just talking about 1789 Beaufort Avenue.
I would move that we issue that. Repeat.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Councilor Grant?
Yeah, I would, in looking into this a little bit, I've been over to the house a couple of times and looked, and it's a bit of a no-brainer that these trees are a problem and that they have to go. It's, you know, they're undermining the house, and one's a danger if it's not undermining the house. The other one is certainly going to ruin the foundation if it hasn't already. And I understand that they had to get a development permit in order to do this. I also understand that there's a further development permit coming later, and we're going to charge them twice, one for the trees and one for the renovation. And it seems to me that somewhere we should have a mechanism that when you have a no-brainer like this, when you've got a danger tree and one that's undermining a house, that we shouldn't be charging a guy $850 to walk down the street and look at that and say, oh, of course they have to go. So, I guess maybe after we deal with this, we should maybe send this back to staff or something to look for a way to, that we wouldn't be double charging a guy to do something like this. That's my comment on it.
Would staff like to comment on it? No?
Yes, the whole point of this development permit application was that the property is within our downtown. And because the community and everybody in town is very proud of the downtown and want to see it developing, beautified and so forth, this is why our development permit guidelines are quite strict in that area. The fact that this is a single family home, the single family homes don't get exempt from the development permit area. This is why. And the rush, the reason for 2 development permits was actually trying to get the trees removed as soon as possible. I understand that the applicants were not ready to apply for the other part of the job. We did offer to wait and do it in 1 month. Just because we, as you mentioned, we don't have a mechanism to deal with it more efficiently or better. So it's multifamily or commercial or big developer or single family home are treated the same in this particular development permit area. So we were not able to offer anything better than that.
Yeah, so I guess I've gotten us a little off topic here, I guess. So maybe, like I understand, it's more of a timing issue, and I get that. But
In this particular instance,
Yes.
it was time.
yeah, it just seems like it's not really fair in some way to me. So, but maybe what we should do is deal with the development permit, and then perhaps we could make a motion after that to refer this to staff to come up with a way to handle this for might be the best way. So,
Do you have a question, Councilor?
Yeah, again, it's not really to the recommendation, it's more of a secondary conversation that's
Okay, well then we'll wait till there's a follow-up motion. Is there any further comment on the development permit application? All in favor? Opposed? That carries.
So then I'd make a motion that we refer this back to staff to find a recommendation that we wouldn't charge 2 fees on a situation that occurs like this. Did you quite have a word that? I think you get the point.
There's a second to that motion.
Second.
Okay. Councilor Fletcher?
So the question would be, this perhaps to the chair and staff, has council got the ability to waive the fees if they so desire? Yes?
Local government.
I believe we have done that in the past in
Yes,
some
yes, but
other
it has to
circumstances.
be official decision.
Okay.
We got to this council decision.
Yes, so that's why I wanted to send it back to staff, so they could make that, they could drop that recommendation properly, so we would know those kinds of things.
So do you want to, maybe you should amend your.
Well, I don't know what I
You're
said.
sending it back to staff, right? Do you want to read back what it's
I
going?
forget what I said. Don't really remember it.
I'm paraphrasing, which
Okay.
I will tidy up later, but
Sure.
something to the effect of the issue we referred to staff in order to find some mechanisms for in order to find some rationale for waiving fees in this particular case.
Okay, but so now we've heard from the planner that the mechanism's already in place. So I wonder if you would like to
So are you saying, should we maybe use that recommendation to
waive
waive the fee in this case?
the development permit fee on the follow-up? He's already paid this $850, correct? So You want to waive the development permit fee for the,
Well, we could do that in this case for sure, because that would probably work for this case, but really then what we're doing is we're waiving a fee on a legitimate DP when, so in this case, that would work, but that's why I'm struggling, because in future.
well, why don't we make a motion that we waive the development permit fee for the trees?
Fair enough.
Is there a second to that? Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That carries.
But then I'd like it to be something that, this may happen again. And, maybe it's not that big a deal if they come back, but perhaps in situations like this, staff would bring this to us and say, here's an option for you or something.
I think staff will
Exactly. Okay, fair enough.
All right, the item B on that was the addendum to the development permit application, that was for information only, so we don't have to do anything, right?
Move or second.
Second? All in favor? We have got the report from, the request on the long-term borrowing from our own reserves.
I would move that we go ahead with the recommendation. Receive. We want to receive that, or? Yeah, I guess we're receiving that already. Okay, I'll move the recommendation.
You want to receive it first?
Yeah.
Okay, move receive, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, did you want to move the recommendation?
Yes. That's what I was. Yes.
Was it seconded? Did you want to speak on that, Don, or is it, I mean, it's fairly, your memo was fairly self-explanatory.
I think it is. The issue is that you pay a higher rate of interest when you borrow than when you invest. We've got surplus funds that we've invested, so it seems counterintuitive that we would go to the market and borrow and pay the higher interest rate when we can borrow from ourselves.
And the timing is okay, correct? I mean,
Timing is
you're paying
okay.
yourself back for when we need it.
We'll have sufficient funds. In fact, the reserves that I've picked to borrow money from are our water and sewer reserve. Those funds, the water fund and the sewer fund, because they're funded by annual user fees, it's a self-funding, almost business. Each of those is a separate utility, and so there's sufficient funds for the future.
Councilor McKinnon?
Just a comment, this speaks well to the town's financial situation, and that we're in this position, and that I know there's other towns that would be very happy to be in this situation, so it's compliments to our staff that we're able to have this option and to look at this thing.
All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Thank you, Don. Okay, we've got correspondence from Julian Payne and Gary McIsaac, the Green Communities Committee.
Move the seat.
Any discussion? All in favor? A letter from Lauren Craig regarding the third crossing.
Move the seat.
Second.
And all in favor? Who's looking for a letter of support, I believe? Is it what?
I think he was, yeah.
What does council wish on that? Councilor Clark?
I make a motion that council add their name to the list of entities that supports the principle of this process.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Carries. A letter from Catherine Miller thanking us for our support of the Sid Williams Theatre Society for receipt.
See?
Second.
All in favor? Carries. Thank you. And a letter from Janice Sample with regard to the Terry Fox event. You proceed.
Second.
All in favor? Carries. She was looking for permission, I believe, to
Yes, no, we're blocking it. Wow.
seeking our approval of the access to these roadways, which I don't believe we can deny, but why don't we make a motion?
Yeah, I'll
You
grant
didn't
it,
hear that
I'll
approval.
grant that we approve the access to the roads we can't deny.
Thank you.
This is an annual event.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that's good.
All in favor of that? Thank you. Carries. Reports from members of council. Hugh McKinnon, let's hear it.
Oh, good.
Going back in time here, July 17th, a number of councillors attended a tour of the recycling venues in Cumberland, which was insightful. On July 20th, I attended, along with some other councillors, the celebration of life for past Mayor Jim Grass. Attended the BIA walking tour kickoff brochure at the Comox Golf Club. A terrific concept, very happy to see that in place. July 27th, attended an event, musical event at the Little Red Church, something that we gave approval to a while ago in council for that to proceed as a business venture, and happy to see that that's working out. July 29th, I went to the Tourist Information Center, and they were kind enough to give a box of Comox Valley tourism brochures, which I took to Europe to the World Masters Games and handed all as exchange gifts and promoted the valley, and they were well received, so much so that the head of information in the Athletes Village tracked me down and was concerned because he didn't know how to explain where the Comox Valley was. He was giving out brochures about the Torino, the whole city, rather than the Comox Valley. But the brochures are very attractive, and nice to see that they could be put into use. And that's my report. I'll stop there. Put it on there.
Thank you. Councilor Swift?
Okay, I attended the second concert in the Filbert concert series on Thursday of David Newberry. Attended the Filbert board meeting, and then the Filbert volunteer orientation day as they were getting ready for preparations for the festival. I also attended the Jim Grass's memorial service, and first I was attending the Filbert Festival, many events and concerts and things that were going on that weekend. Nautical days, some of the events, I attended the Maiden Band concert, which was really fabulous. I did a shift at the information booth down on the park, and that was really fun and interesting, talking to different people. Of course, attended the parade and the Mayor's Lunch.
Councilor Fletcher?
Thank you. Since we last met, we had a solid waste meeting in July 18th. I also attended the celebration of life service with Jim Grass. A couple of nautical days meetings to get ready in late July. The 23rd, attended the BIA Walking Map release, which was a great publication and well received in the community. On the 30th, attended the CBRD board meeting. August 1st, a photo opportunity at the new cycling center for the Canex. So if you haven't been out there, it's a great new facility, well total fenced. If you have any extra recycling you need to do, I highly recommend it. It's a lovely spot. And then came the Nautical Days weekend and the Filbert Festival weekend. I attended a number of events, helped out in the info booth. First we had the fish toss event, the parade, and the Mayor's Lunch. And so thank you to all the members of council that assisted with the events and participated. It was a very successful weekend. And then last week attended the CBRD committee of the whole meeting, and yesterday the CBRD.
Thank you. Councilor Grant?
Thanks. So I also attended the Nautical Days celebrations, and I actually got to do some emceeing at that, which was pretty interesting. And Susan's idea there was to really get council more involved in it, and I thought that, at first I wasn't really sure if it was a great idea, but I think it was a really good idea. The way she had it structured, it was pretty easy, even I could do it, so it wasn't that hard. Also, I paired up with Tom in the fish toss, which I think we would have won, except there was some illegal equipment being used by some teams. Other than that, I think we probably would have won, but what did we come in third? I think we came in third because he gave me a bad toss, but.
So you would have.
Yeah, so I would have won anyway. And I also did put some time in at the information booth, and in there the BIA had some draws, and we put some. You had to fill out a chip to get your name in the draw, and I did a fairly impromptu survey of the number of people. I was trying to figure out who was from in town, who wasn't, and the numbers really, and it's it's not a totally legitimate thing, but it was about 2/3, 1/3. So about 1/3 of the people were from outside the valley that were down at the nautical days or that had filled in these things. So obviously we're drawing a lot of people from Campbell River and up north, which was a little bit surprising to me. Lots from Victoria, and then there were some as far away as Europe and other places like that. So, but a lot of people are coming into our town for that event. So that was neat. I also was part of the BIA walking tour brochure. And in going out to the Discovery Center, they're handing those out like hotcakes, and they've actually asked us for more of them. So that seems to be a fairly successful brochure and working hopefully the way we want it to. I also went to an economic development executive meeting, and one of the things that we asked to do was to be, if they get a tri-council meeting, and I guess I would ask our council if they think this is a good idea, to put their 5-year strategic plan on as part of that, so we can give an update to the entire group while we're there as part of that. I also attended the mayor's lunch. I went to Jim Brass's memorial, and our signage committee, we finally got a rough budget, so we will be getting together to get a gateway sign organized, and we'll be calling that meeting for, they don't even know yet, but for September 11th, so there should be some more information coming on a new sign for out on the highway soon, so that's what I've been doing. Good.
Thank you. Pardon me. I too was at the Jim Brass Memorial. I was at the BIA walking tour when we kicked it off. That was a lot of fun and a great evening. I was at the mayor's luncheon. I was in the parade. I attended the Philbert Festival and Nautical Days, where, along with Councillor Grant, we came in third in the fish toss. But we can't wait till next year because we think we've got it now. And I also attended a solid waste management meeting with the CVRD, as well as a committee of the whole meeting and 2 CVRD board meetings since we last met. So that is my report. We have no late items. Media questions? You don't want to know how the fish toss went?
That's a big story for the ball. Inquiring minds.
Donald.
Thank you, Worship. I'm just Don Davis from the town of Comox. I'm wondering, is there a tentative date on the public hearing for the Laneway Carriage House Cottages bylaw?
Yes. Very preliminary, it's September 25th, but it will be advertised, so as soon as when we are nearing that date, we will be advertising. Tentatively, September 25th.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Worship.
We have no in-camera meetings, so a motion to adjourn will be in order. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks.